9:56 p.m. in the Central Time Zone, including Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the basement studio with the Kyber Cosmic League here on the Rookie Channel. We've got some ships to color in, including Heralds of Hope Temmin. Going to be in the green at the start of engagement phase. All friendly T-70s may gain a strain to flip that config card and get a free calculate for doing so. Temmin in the green. Care gonna be in the blue. I feel like this is like an episode of Sesame Street. Got Red Squadron Expert, identical builds, so one in red and one in purple. Very good. All different chassis on the other side for this match between Tegan and William, better known as Raz. Raz had that great run back this winter in the Kyber Cup, taking his list of ARC 170s and Goji very far. But a little something different tonight with the T-70s. It's going to be all good guy battle. These rebels on the other side. We've got Wedge. We've got an E-Wing at I-4. And two other I-4s, 10. And then Jake. Jake's got those Prockets. We're setting dials. This match is about to begin. KC Kid, hello. There goes the timer. And there goes Jake. Tells us who's got first player. Shaka, good evening. Gonna take a look and see what pool these players are in. This is pool 14. Of course, pool number doesn't mean anything in and of itself this round. Everybody started with the same record. Looks like Raz is in first place in this pod, 18th overall on the ladder right now. Tegan a little further down. Is checking. Yep, Raz defeated John Fute, aka Copper Blue, week 1. Defeated D Orkwiz, week 2. 200 points each time. So a strong first 2 weeks, and will control his own destiny for being the winner of this pod. Going into the resort, which happens this Sunday night. 3-0s will mostly be placed, of course, with other 3-0s. 2-1s with 2-1s, and so on right down the line. Well, the idea in this pod-based format, that the longer you play, the more appropriate your competition gets. The 3-0 place with similar time zones as well, asking for a friend. They will where it's possible, is the answer to that. So generally, especially with 200 players, you should still be able to keep to those alignments. We've gotten a lot of good feedback about that for the second year in a row. Especially this year, people did a much better job of letting us know their time zones. So that helped us get 95+% of players lined up with nobody more than an hour or two away from him, except for our Team Singapore players. But even then, we got them lined up with America Pacific time. So it's been pretty helpful in terms of matches getting in, and we are going to try to keep to that as well in the second sort, and even frankly the third sort, outside of that top pod, which is the only place where we will just go with the highest records, the highest MOV for pool number 1 in weeks 7, 8, and 9. We'd like to try to avoid rematches also. So between those two things, we'll keep it all in balance, but try to get that time zone alignment where we can. That is a nice part of this league in the round robin format as compared to just Swiss. I'm enjoying having the delay for the XTC turned off. And I'm going to enjoy this too because they upgraded these tools and I can now do whatever one of these I want. So since we have a couple of Americans and a little throwback to our XTC, let's just do this. There we go. Make sure to hover over the right side of your window there on Twitch to enjoy that. Some of them you got to pay bits for, but as always, a few are free. You can scroll through and find those. Meanwhile, no straight joust in this game. The Resistance stayed together for a couple of rounds, but are beginning now to split up. Rebels have formed a couple of different attack groups here. Jake going along with that E-Wing. And then Wedge coming down with 10. And those Rebels are far enough apart where for Raz here could have visions of trying to get a 4-on-2 engagement, although here come that E-Wing and Jake. Not wanting to get too far away. Going for the glory. In case you didn't see it at the Lone Star Open, and I'm sure you didn't, while you boost, you may use that one hard template, left or right instead. And then is this Heralds of Hope Temin? Yes, it is. So Heralds of Hope Temin. Every friendly T70 range 0 to 3 can take that strain, flip the config. If you do, gain that calculate token. Still going to just be out of range. We should see shots next turn. And right now, with those turn-ins, if you're Tegan, you got to be thinking about a good chance to get all arcs on Care Kun? I don't actually know how to say it. KK on good old double K. Could be in 4 arcs next turn, and I'm not sure the same is true going back the other direction. Green, in particular, gonna have to come through those rocks. Heralds of Hope's Temin really good. I agree. I've played against it. It's very strong. The timing, right, I think is what makes it so good. It's not as though you've got to decide before they activate. You get to wait until engagement. So you've got the information that you need. With the boosts here. So I think those boosts would seem to be, I think, an indication we're going to see that Heralds of Hope Temin trigger soon. Tegan thinking that too. He's going to get out of that bullseye. Make sure to get that stress, which we can't really see, but it's there. Jake coming in. E-Wing now. He's hovering over the barrel roll. Probably has range if he wanted to go for... Oh, he's going to take a focus. No respect for the Jake flank here. Nowhere to boost. I think those calculates are coming, so goes for a target lock. Temin be close enough to get calculates to all the friends. Too close, I think, to point his arc that same direction. Oh, he did. I'm looking in the chat log. He tried the boost with Temin, and yeah, it failed. So just a failed action for Temin. Wedge comes in. Here's that range 3 check. Here are all the config flips. And all the strains and calculates. But he lost the chance to take a target lock with Temin, and I wonder if he forgot those prockets on Jake. It looks like I think he had his foils open when he activated, so nowhere to boost. They're open now, so if they were closed, could have rolled out. Wedge gonna start off the shooting though. I would think everything into blue, but he's thinking it over. Yeah, good point. You could try to initiative kill. That's could be the debate. Yeah. And that's going to be the call. Three paint. Thinking about the spend, and does. With that strain, they just all go through. So that's all the shields on purple. Now switching targets. Two crits and an eyeball so far. Spend that. Could spend your calculate here. Choose to keep it. And that is 3 more shields down. Two more shots still to come in. Thinking about the order. Gonna go with 10 into purple. There is a target lock on this shot. Won't need it. Single evade. We'll live on 1. And now the question for Jake, do you take your Procket, or would you try to complete the initiative kill on purple, deny 4 dice, presumably into wedge? Imagine if the E-Wing shot purple. Yeah. And it was unobstructed. They were all unobstructed. Not sure what they're discussing. Jamming beam. You'd love to see it. Stabilized S-foils. Rolling the natties was able to use the lock, perform the bonus attack with the jamming beam, strip the calculate token. Yeah, jamming beam bonus. Yeah, for sure. That I mean, this is probably a good time to talk about achievements, right? You fired the jamming beam, and you scored it, and you scored hits with it. Really, is really grinding over this choice here. I see in the chat. He's gonna go range 2. He's turning down the Procket to go range 2. Has the focus. There's no modifiers on purple left. A hit and an eyeball. You've got to spend it, right? Then it takes natties to live. If your whole plan was to get the PS kill. Yeah, there's the spend of the focus. Okay, so it's going to take 2 squiggles. Waiting for the defense roll. Here it comes. Got him. So purple is gone. And so even with the splitting of fire, 1 T70 already gone from the board. Gone at initiative 4. And that is big for the rebels. Resistance. Ready now to start to fire back. Going into wedge here. Has to calculate. Spends the target lock. And now the calculate. That'll be 3. That's a good start. And no squiggles from wedge, so half points right away. Temin, who tried to make that boost left, but there was just not room to complete that. Can't fire at Wedge, so going to go into Jake. Range 2. Double crits. Three greens. And Jake is fine. Fantastic roll here. Could finish Wedge. That's not it. Is going to take a crit, though. And that's damage sensor array. So after that round of engagement, 44-27. The score, Rebels in the lead. They had 4 different arcs on 2 different ships. And even while splitting fire, still were able to get the initiative 3 off the board. Jake making that decision, which, you know, we saw it took a few minutes to think out that decision, whether to keep the Procket or to go for that initiative kill. A decision that looks very good. Got the double paint. Got the one shot through. Jamming beam playing a role. Taking that calculate token away. And probably saving Wedge. Right? If Wedge has got to eat another 4v2 there, Wedge is, you know, realistically has a good chance of being off the board right now as well, which would make things very different this round. As it is, now 4 ships versus 3. Care still above half, only by 1. Wedge just hanging on. He's got that sensor array. 2 of these T-70s as well, right? Made those hard commits, and while they did catch Wedge, they are pretty soundly pointed at the side of the board. The red squadron got no great way to turn around. Could Talon down the board, but is that any good? Doesn't seem that good. Meanwhile, Rebel team set up those 2 fire teams at the start of the game, and now closing the net. Could continue to pursue Double K, Cancun. Could turn their attention to Temin. The red squadron open to block. My guess is Wedge would have seen that coming. We'll see. I'm going to put that lock on Temin. If we see a second jamming beam this round, then I think it's just an auto achievement. I feel like if you're not sure what I'm talking about with respect to achievements in the Kyber Cosmic League, there is a Discord forum, the Flight Recorder. Come in and talk about what happened in your game. The tournament organizers monitor and talk about what's in there. And apropos of just the things we think are awesome that we find, achievements are awarded. In an upgrade from the last Kyber event, there are now physical certificates to go along with the digital versions that will come along with your prize awards, alt art cards for achievements that we have. So we see a BB-8 spend. And that may be enough to get the block. Unless Wedge banked away and the team decided to focus on Temin. Who has a juicy shot into Jake at the moment. If Wedge did go straight, looks like that block should be on. Let's take away one of those BB charges. There's the bank, though. A really good BB by Raz, though. Limiting the shots. Trying to keep Double K alive for another round. Wedge is going to focus. And we'll go to start of engagement. See if the Temin trigger is going to happen. It is. Yeah, those were the only choices. Had to focus or fix the crit. Chose to focus. Probably the right choice with 2 left. Thank you for the follow. Here's 3 dice. Double crits. So that'll be the first 2 shields on Temin, who was strained. Here's the follow-up from 10. And if it's natties again, look out for that jamming beam. Weak. Spends the stress. Oh. Heroic. 1 evade. A shield and a crit. Stunned pilot. Has the lock. Could. Nope, not this time. And keep the target lock. No jamming beam. So Jake's up next. Nothing so far. Save the focus. Rogue Squadron gonna shoot next. Gonna go into Temin. It hit crit. If this is a direct. And it is. Oh boy. Still gets to shoot. K2 gonna start us off. I need to use the target lock. Needs a conversion here. Gets it. With the calculate, gonna be hit, hit, crit, crit. So wedge is done. spend the focus, because why not? Well, that was a must. And more is needed. That's a good shot as well. All right, but that did not convert. But there are still 2 crits there. How much paint can we see? Just 1. But that's going to be enough to prevent any of those crits from going through. So a big evade from Jake. And just as similarly, that target lock going blank into blank. Jake stays alive on half. And so the ship count advantage stays with Tegan and the Rebels. And in the points, 98-74. Wedge is gone, which makes Care the ace. Extra AC with 1 BB charge and that ability to use the hard boosts. All shields are down, though. Jake still with that Procket on board. And Jake's in a good position to be a good neighbor to 10 this turn as well, if he should so choose. If you missed it earlier, this is pod number 14 out of 50. This is week 3 out of the 9 overall for the league. Raz, the Resistance player, is 2-0, was looking to clinch the win and the prizes for winning this pod. Plans going a little bit awry so far. Tegan, meanwhile, 1-1. If he could go to 2-1, his loss was to D. Orquiz. Who is still 1-1. So the win of the pod, if Tegan were to win this match, would just come down to who won the other game. And then who would win that head-to-head tiebreaker. Tegan's got the tiebreaker over John Fucht. And D would have the tiebreaker over Tegan. So we'd have to wait for all the results to know who'd win the pod in that scenario. And of course, Raz would be 2-1 as well, so it could come down to MOV. And there's the Talon roll to the right. Jake says, hello there. And stay right there. The bullseye is online. Ten does the 2K. And that red expert. Get out your Ralph Wiggum memes. Red Squadron expert is in danger. Here's the second BB charge. Rolled backward, then he undid it. Now he's done it again. Goes for a focus. And with wedge gone, going to be shooting first. Cannot initiative kill, though, any of these rebel ships. All right, so this is 10. 2. Got 1 evade. Just a plink to start. These shots are going to get progressively spicier, though. Here is that Procket being flipped. Single modded. Oh, paint. Oh boy. Takes 4. Down to 2. Now range 1 with the focus. Yep. Here's the roll. That's 3 hits. And with that Talon roll, that's a dead ship. $142 to $74. You do move last against 2 ships if you can finish off Jake here. Only 2. Oh, a 2's going to be enough. So a rally back. Jake is gone. So 142 to 93. The trouble here, not so much. You've got, you've got the ace. You're out of BB charges. You've got your fancy boosts, but your opponents are both on completely full health. And that's going to make it a little bit more of a challenge. If you can draw some bumps, keep making the shots one-on-one, have a little luck. Maybe you can crawl your way back a bit. And this will be important too. Win or loss wise, not just that, but also the MOV, because we are looking now at, a potential 3-way tie at 2 wins and 1 loss. At which point the high MOV will take the pod and the prizes. So if you could score a few more points here, whether or not you come all the way back, it still helps possibly cement that pod away, especially for Raz, whose first 2 wins were both by pretty significant margins. I wonder if 10 might think about a roll to the right and then a lock. That's what he's doing. All right, there's a bump. So 10 I'm going to shoot first. Is range 1. With a target lock. Oh boy. That's power regulator. These rebel ships have not missed. Here's the range 1 return fire. It's all naturals. All 4 shields are still up. Gets the half points, though. So 118 for Raz now. But geez, I mean. That was a tough exchange, right? You gave as well as you took. You actually gave more than you took, but unfortunately, yeah, exactly. one hull care cannot use his fancy boosts anymore with power regulator. Of course, it won't go off until the next turn, so could use it this round. So we see a sloop and a K-turn. Possible chance for a free shot here? No, got the bump. Or, oh yeah, no, he was ionized that turn, wasn't he? Okay, nope, because he shot second. That stinks. And those moves make more sense from the Rebels now, too. All right, so for the coup de grace. No modifiers here. Hey. All right. It's happening. Oh, was there a lock there? Oh, that's one hit. No problem. All right. Can he half point another ship? It's mathematically possible. Oh, even more so now. Oh, just one. Got one. Well, the stressed E-Wing is no threat. Next turn. 10 is still stressed as well. Keep that rally going. Never give up. If you're just seeing the end of this game, we saw the magic of stabilized S-foils plus a jamming beam. As the T-70 was taken off the board the very first engagement. Andy with a good reminder, I gotta put a price on that kangaroo after this game's over. And I'm seeing that Pool 16 has a winner. Who is it? Is it you? So there we see, I think, our first hard turn boost to the game. Not going to lead to a shot, though. Congratulations. Enjoy that prize support. Were you 3-0 or 2-1? And Von Reg survived every game. A surviving Von Reg, that was the key to making it all the way to the top 4 for Treyas back in the winter. You may have different wingmates. I don't know. The 3-0s, yeah, the 3-0 should be spicy. They certainly were last summer. I would expect more of the same. We're trying to keep things with some geographic considerations for the second wave, so that should narrow down the choices a bit for you. If Raz could pull it back, you could end up in a pod with Raz. If Care can complete the hero's journey here. Looking a little tougher right now. Still no valid targets, though. He's got 18 minutes. 18 minutes to do 5 damage and not take anything. Get rid of power regulator. That's gone. Something we talked about right at the start of this match, after I think the 3rd round, was just whether there was going to be an edge for the Rebels being able to focus down on one resistance ship at a time, getting those multiple arcs on. That's really how we got here. In those subsequent rounds, I had thought they might go for Care being out front, as it was the way the Rebels flew the next round. They had the option to go into one of the I3s to get the advantage of the initiative kill, which saved a 4 dice shot into Wedge. Just set up the same thing again. The TTS log chat. Celebrate. We should stop and have a ceremony because the linked action E-Wing was used. But yes, those E-Wing linked actions, not the best, but we've seen Now we've seen the E-Wing linked action, and we've seen jamming beam for hits. Let's celebrate that. Tegan not letting either of his ships get caught out for a one-on-one. This will be a focus. There it is. Is there a fast enough maneuver to get the hard turn barrel roll for a free shot? Maybe? Yes, maybe? Did he do it? I think he did it. Brilliant. There's the ace. There it is. All right. Can we see 28 more points? No, we cannot. And we see one more shield. Gonna take all blanks. Won't see that either. But let's appreciate that. That was good flying. To get the free shot. I like it. I like how he hasn't given up. Fighting to the end. Had a chance there. Take some more points. Almost got it. And this has been a good game. Good engagements. Neither of these lists are hard meta calls. It's been a fun night. A fun night is what we were looking for after spending the day reading some of the posts on the Fly Better Facebook. Many emotions happening there, coming out of the Lone Star Open. I'm sure some people did have a good time. And a lot of people using it as a reason to complain about a lot of things. But we've got a nice game here. And we're going to have a great next 6 weeks, 6.5 weeks, I suppose, of the league, starting with crowning our pod winners, including Sub in the chat. And we'll resort and go again. What is the whining about? I don't even want to, you know, if you're head on over there, and at this point, I mean, there are posts that are the length of full-fledged like magazine articles. Meanwhile, GG. 4 dice and 3 eyes. Raz fought the good fight, though. Let's try and talk to him.
Howdy, hey.
Hello, hello. Thanks for playing on stream. Good game.
Hello?
Yeah, it was a fun one.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, it was fun. Uh, man, I was hoping one of those T70s would live the first engagement.
Yeah.
It just kind of died.
It did.
All right.
It did. I mean,
You
I
got 118.
Okay.
what
Go
about
on.
the choice to give up the procket to fire the 2-dice shot to get the initiative kill? Looked like there was a lot of
That was-
grinding over that choice.
That
No, that-
was really rough, but I think I made the right call.
Oh, 100% was the right call. If you went with the procket, I was gonna let you know, like after the shot. I was like, yeah, maybe kill the thing, but you made the good call.
The Procket came back in clutch later, so I'm
Yes.
happy with my choice.
You said I got 118.
118. Yep.
Okay.
You said you're putting it in the Discord?
Yep.
Alrighty. Submitted to TTT.
Okay.
Yeah, no, all things considered, very fun list to fly against as well. There was so many times where I was just looking at what Kara could do, and I was like, it's not even worth thinking about. I'll deal with it when it happens.
For Care alone, like, listen, I know Poe could be broken with more BB-8 charges, but for Care, I want BB-8 to have more charges, man. Or give her a different version of BB or its only boost, because I'd use that all the time.
Yeah,
Between
it's a good
Kara
combination,
and-
right?
Yeah.
It's very silly. It lets her twice per game effectively go, I'll go where I want. You can't stop me. But after that, she's just an X-Wing who can boost a little funny, which can be
Aim and
helpful
clutch,
for time
to be
target.
fair.
but I think I used it, twice? One time it saved me from falling off the board, but
Yeah.
other
Let
than
you do
that,
something you wouldn't have been able to do.
I don't know if it was good. Oh man, that one X-Wing dying so fast really
I think
Her-
that was critical.
it was 'cause an extra shot into Wedge would have been very nice. Like I would have traded Wedge for an expert any day, but Temin and an expert for Wedge and Jake, not worth it at all.
You know, whenever I'm breaking down this list to someone, the first thing I say is that Wedge, if they take down Wedge first, that's the right call. It's pretty close to game over, depending on the circumstances.
And granted, it depends on what the opponent's playing, but with the
Yeah.
current prevalence of initiative for Wedge, being able to initiative kill stuff is pretty good. So I'm like,
Yeah.
let's take him out, so at least with something else that kills me, I can at least get a dying shot in.
Yeah, I think making Jake and 10 as appealing as possible is like half of playing this list. Just please shoot at them, not the other two. I need those.
Yup. The other thing I messed up on that opening engage is I should have barrel rolled Care.
Yeah.
Focus into barrel roll to let Temin actually boost, because he critically did not have a shot at Wedge, and that
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah. I think that opening engagement was beyond important.
Uh-huh.
It seemed that way. I can't remember. We were happy to see the jamming beam fired.
Oh,
and
It
do you-
also hurt, man. I was like, wow, this is just rude. And then the calculate actually matters. Like, oh.
I thought that's how I remember. I was gonna say, did that calculate? Would that have been the difference?
Yeah.
In it did, right? Yeah. So
Yeah, 'cause I
jamming beam
rolled a
doing
couple
something.
eyeballs. Yeah, jamming beam hurt. And it's always in that like double tap configuration. It's like, okay, it normally doesn't do much on its own, but when you get to follow up with it, just a little pinch of salt in the wound.
Yeah. The 4 hits were tough enough, and then jamming beam
Yeah.
goes through also.
Like, man, you already punched me really hard. You really have to taser a man while he's down. Okay.
Taser.
Yeah, 10 is so fun.
Yeah, it was good. I like seeing B-Wings on the board. It's my favorite ship. It makes me
Dude,
happy to
same.
see them used effectively. So it was good seeing an E-Wing. Someone else appreciating them.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having us.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks.
gonna head
Thanks
out.
for playing as well. Come back. You're in friendly time zones, so keep throwing them up in the schedule. We'll try to have you back. We got 6 more weeks of
Yeah.
of this yet to go, and of course, it's going to come down to MOV now in this pod, because we'll have three players at 2-1. So those
3 at 2-1.
you're going to end up with 3 at 2-1, because the other match is 2. Someone's going to be 2-1 after the other game, and then yeah,
That's a weird one.
You're both 2-1, and so then we'll go to the MOV. So maybe those last half points on 10 will be the thing.
No. Oh no. All right. Well, you guys have a good rest of your evening.
Yeah,
See
thanks
you
for
around.
coming on chatting. Good night.
Yeah. All right. Talk to you guys later.
All right. So a little post game chatter. Always like talking with the Raz, especially has a fun attitude about the game, and hearing him talk about how that opening engagement went down. I think he summarized it perfectly, right? It just, the way things cascaded, and the decision, ultimately the right call for Tegan to sacrifice the procket, put in the 2 dice, the jamming beam, denying what the calculate that would have kept purple alive, taking away the shot at wedge, and then that failed boost from Temin after Kara failed to get out of the way. And that wasn't even all the fun stuff we saw. So a great match. We're glad we're able to throw it up on short notice. And so hopefully a lot of people are going to get to see this one on demand tomorrow morning, because this was a fun game with some, again, not bad ships, right? But just ships that are not the Zams and the Bosks and the rest of the Nashes and the other metacalls right now. So that's, I think, even adds a little bit more variety, and to be able to put up some lists like this. Thanks for everybody for coming out and having fun in the chat. We'll see you next time.